So this is as good as it's gonna get. It's a Sunday, it's like a no makeup day. I haven't washed my hair. Just cleaning up after a busy week. So it snowed last night, so it's nice and snowy outside. I need to meal prep. I marinated some tofu last night. We had buffalo tofu sandwiches, and now I'm just cleaning up the kitchen because it's Sunday. I need to meal prep. I think I'm going to make a Caribbean jerk tofu quinoa bowl that is going to be so good. So I'm gonna make a soup. It's Sunday, and we'll go from there. This kind of looks like a lot, but so these are the ingredients I'm going to use to make the Caribbean jerk tofu. We're going to press our tofu. The prep of your tofu is what makes you successful. Eating this just as is don't do that. So what I'm gonna do now is chop the vegetables that I'm going to need to roast for the bowl. It's going to be a Caribbean jerk flavor with the black beans and carrots. It'll be really good and hearty with quinoa. So I'm excited to try this True Roots. This came in the Imperfect Produce box, and I'm going to utilize all the ingredients that I can from that. It was a little disappointing that it was canceled last week, but we made do. We went to the grocery store, and it kind of worked out to our favor because I was able to find some sauces that I can marinate the tofu in, which if you are trying to do tofu and you've never done tofu ever, please Google some YouTube how to marinate your tofu, because the success with utilizing this protein is within the prep. The prep is so important. It's very easy to cook, but you have to press it, you have to marinate it, because essentially it tastes like nothing, and the texture is, you just have to press it and you have to marinate it. So if you are starting off with plant-based protein and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? I'm gonna get some tofu. That's what everybody eats. No. Try some Beyond Meat, try some Gardein versions of your meat alternatives, and it's a good transition food. You should not build the bulk of your diet, however, around these foods. I say that these are used in moderation, especially the very processed Beyond Meat burgers, the chicken nuggets, those types of things. Burgers, chicken nuggets, are they healthy? Should you be eating a lot of that? No. You should be eating all things whole food plant. No, you should be eating all things whole food plant-based when possible. For tofu, you should always opt for a non-GMO organic version, and know the good research behind soy. Soy is okay. I can go really in depth with this. That should be a whole different video. So yeah, your tofu is not bad for you, non-GMO, organic. It doesn't work the same way as people claim with the estrogen, and it's find good research. I can do a whole video on that. Maybe I should. We'll see. But now we meal prep. Three of my favorite instruments for meal prep. Get a good knife, of course. This handy dandy Joseph & Joseph tool has 3 different blades, and I'll show you how to use this. This is one of my favorite things, as well as invest in a mandolin. Very, very effective. Safety disclaimer here, I don't use the mandolin protector. You really should, because these can be very sharp and you will slice your fingers. So what you're left with is this little nub when you finish chopping. However, I'm a kitchen rebel, but don't do like me, use your guard. This silicone bakeware I will use to bake when you're traveling as well. It's also good because they fold, they're easily packed, and I find it also versatile for baking and seasoning these. So when I have to season these for the Caribbean jerk bowl, I will actually season them in this, and it kind of allows for a good mixing and it just works. Purple cabbage, you can see I cut on this all through the week, so just an excellent addition to plates. This is some more of my kitchen travel. Just really effective use of space with packing. This is probably one of my most favorite kitchen tools. So good. Battery's about to die. I will show you my tofu. So this is pressed and marinated tofu in that jerk chicken seasoning. You can't really see it. This stuff is so good. It tastes like Caribbean jerk chicken. We had it in Tampa on one of our travel assignments, pre-vegan, pre-plant-based, and it has that amazing texture and flavor. So press your tofu, marinate it really well, and you can have some really good outcomes with flavor. I'm going to make more of that tofu into the Caribbean jerk flavor, compile all these things into a bowl, and meal prep for the week. So let me show you. So really with my meal prep, it's kind of varied depending on the kitchen that we've been in, depending on the assignment. It's a little bit different than my home meal prep because at home I have my casserole pans, I have all my bake pans, so I can really bulk roast when I'm at home. I keep a minimal kitchen while we're traveling for the sake of space. I have our Dutch oven here that I'm going to utilize to cook the quinoa in. I've made this soup, so it was a little bit of planning in the process for that, and I've roasted my vegetables. I will add in these with the quinoa, the black beans to the Tupperware. We'll have a Caribbean jerk tofu nourish bowl with a soup for the duration of the week. I'm gonna keep Friday flexible because by the time Friday rolls around, we're kind of like, rather go out to eat, try something different. So I think our plan for this assignment with the amenities that we have is to do a Wednesday Grubhub and a Friday go out to eat. And then the rest of the week will be normal nourishing foods and things like that. So I will also be making a round of smoothies for the week. This will have our protein powder, chia seeds, hemp seeds, lots of greens, and once my tofu is done pressing over here, I'll just pop the Vitamix over and make those for the week. And so what I did for the sake of packing and for the sake of minimalism and no waste and kind of trying to decrease the amount of trash that we generate as a couple, Kevin made a vegan chili, and within that chili, one of the ingredients was tomato juice, and so I saved this from the tomato juice in order to bulk make smoothies for the week, and that way we're not generating more waste, more plastic. And the difference between our kitchen at home versus our minimalist travel kitchen is I don't have all my smoothie jars that I have at home for the sake of space. So with traveling, it is kind of a give and a take as far as some of the luxury things that we have at home versus some of the simple swaps that I make to help maintain a no waste kitchen or a minimal waste kitchen. It's fine, it's whatever. We're making the quinoa. And really when I'm meal prepping, when I cook, sometimes if I'm not doing recipe development, it's just like, it's just one of these. Like, that looks good, maybe a little more. We'll give that a stir. Quinoa. Sometimes I read the instructions, sometimes I don't. Cover this and put it on low. So we'll cook this. I'll add the black beans, the marinated tofu, and toss it into meal prep containers and give them a good shake so they're nice and cohesive. I'm really blown out. Good night. I hope you guys can see me. Can you see me? You can see me. Okay, that's really bright, isn't it? Really, when it comes to meal prep, it doesn't have to be hard. It can be simple ingredients. The rest of these are going to go into the Caribbean jerk nourish bowls. We'll marinate some tofu, toss it in the quinoa, and then put it in the meal prep containers for the week. I layered in the zucchini squash, which we eat a ton of zucchini squash, one of the best volume foods that you can really bulk up a meal to add your phytonutrients. Tossed in some mushrooms and bell peppers so that they'll kind of cook alongside the quinoa as it cools. We're adding in a can of black beans. And to round that out, we're gonna add in the Caribbean jerk tofu, as well as I like to keep some fresh vegetables for crunch and color as the final topping. Caribbean jerk tofu added into this, into our meal containers, and we're all set.
Action.
Action. So this is marinated tofu.
And what is this?
This is marinated tofu. We talked about it all day.
Okay.
We talked about it all day.
And I am excited.
Are you? Does it smell good?
It smells wonderful.
There's also the Caribbean jerk, quinoa, black beans, zucchini, onions, and mushrooms. Simple nourish bowl. We're gonna add this in on top of the Brussels. Not too much quinoa because they are calorically and carb dense, but they're like a super grain. So really, if you're eating a whole food plant-based diet, it's okay. This takes like 20 minutes to cook all this and chop it and add it in. The tofu takes the longest because you have to marinate it. So it's probably about a cup. God, look how much quinoa we have left over. For that. Looks good.